Uh, the GOAT debate in and of itself is a conundrum. And we've tried to regale it down to a way that can be simplified, right? In terms of stats, in terms of championship rings. And I think when it comes to LeBron James or any athlete, we try to simplify what we're looking at the best that we can to try and accurately assess what we're seeing, period. And I think with LeBron James, it's probably the most complicated of all, because when we look at LeBron, there's so many different ways to remember him, right? We can remember the LeBron James that is purely one of the greatest of all time. It's not even a debate. It's not a discussion. Comparing him, though, contrasting comparison with Michael Jordan, as I've said before, to me is unfair. Two different players, two different styles of play, and two different eras. I have said that I think Michael is the greatest of all time, but to just say that LeBron isn't, to me, is way too far. That he's not great, that is too far. And the reason is because when you look at LeBron, and one of the ways that you can remember him is the man who went to 9 consecutive NBA finals, right? He did it with Cleveland. Then he goes back again with Miami. Then he goes back again with Cleveland. To just write that off, to me, is pure insanity, right? And if we want to remember LeBron in that regard, then all of a sudden it becomes, well, he only won 3 of them. Oh, he's only got 3? There are guys that are never even going to sniff an NBA Finals. There are guys that will never win an NBA Finals. And there are players that will never, ever see a championship. When we look at Dan Marino, or we look at a basketball player, let's say like a Grant Hill or somebody to that effect, or Vince Carter, for instance, right? Vince Carter is never going to win an NBA championship, okay? But will we still revere him as being one of the greatest of all time? Certainly one of the best dunkers of all time. Certainly one of the best basketball athletes of all time. But this whole ring thing, I mean, in terms of it, again, if we look at Robert Horry, he won 7 NBA championships. So by that notation, he's automatically better than Michael Jordan. So if we just go off the wins instead of what it took to get there, I think that we're oversimplifying the conversation. When we look at LeBron James, you have to think about getting there and winning, and he's done both. Then there's the other LeBron that we can look at, who's kind of this happy-go-lucky guy, right, who we see on social media palling around with guys like D-Wade and Carmelo. There's the guy that's been in movies, right? I loved him in Trainwreck. I was very surprised because I'm not the biggest Amy Schumer fan of her stand-up, but the movie Trainwreck was a pleasant surprise for me. I thought it was a funny movie. And then, of course, that added addition, you know, we see LeBron James in that movie, and I thought he was great. I really did. And when we look at it, we go, okay, maybe we love that side of LeBron James, right? And then, of course, there's also the LeBron that kind of shot himself in the foot, so to speak here, to kind of use that term a little loosely. So when you look at the NBA Finals that he was in when Kyrie got hurt, when Kevin Love got hurt, and they didn't win the series, and LeBron James got on national television and said, no, I'm confident that we can win because I'm the best player in the world. Not in the NBA, but in the world. And then, of course, when they lost, it was, well, Kyrie got hurt and Kevin Love got hurt. There's the LeBron that continued to kind of troll us a little bit the first time that he left Cleveland, right? He said that he was tired of talking about it. He wished everybody would let it go. And then, of course, what happens? That same night, he goes off and he writes NY23 on his shoes. There's the LeBron James that said that that play he knew made him the greatest of all time. He called himself the GOAT. And maybe he did it because he's tired of people speaking for him. So maybe he decided to speak for himself. I'm not going to get into that. I don't know why he said it. We know that he said it, though, and that's all there is to it. So then there's that LeBron James. And then there's the LeBron James that you look at and you go, was LeBron the consummate leader? You know, because we see LeBron on the sideline, courtside, in huddles, away from his teammates, not paying any attention to what's going on, not concerned with anything that's happening, and kind of being aloof and disconcerted with his other teammates. There's that LeBron James that a lot of people don't believe that gets respect in the locker room. The LeBron James that I've talked about on several occasions. And then there's the LeBron that is maybe one of the best all-around basketball players that we've ever seen in this game, period. The passer, the scorer, when he wants to play defense, going coast to coast and making huge plays. There's playoff LeBron James that seemingly once he's there can't be stopped. He just has an understanding of how to win these big games that a lot of other guys don't. What LeBron James are you going to remember? That's the thing. But I think that for me, when I remember LeBron, I won't remember him as the GOAT because I really kind of hate that discussion as it is. But I will remember him as one of the greatest ball players that we've ever seen in our lifetime. And I will remember him as a guy who maybe never still reached his full potential. I don't know, but I know this much. I think at some point we've become too demanding of our athletes, and I think that we expect perfection when nobody's going to achieve perfection. Not Kevin Durant, not Michael Jordan, not Kobe Bryant, not LeBron James, nobody. It's impossible. We chase it, we want it, but ultimately we're never going to get it. And so that is why it is such a conundrum, because there's more to it than that's really there. And LeBron has been the topic of every single discussion possible. The GOAT discussion, the leadership debate, the best of all time, all-around ball player. His stats have been brought up really ad nauseum, to be perfectly honest with you. So when you see LeBron, what LeBron James will you remember? Let me know in the comment section. I'm Drew Duncan, host of the Full Court Press. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. Don't forget when you share this post to use the hashtag Don't You Dare Touch That Dial. And as always, don't you dare touch that dial.